Pepper says, are you ready to start organizing some crafts in this laundry room? I know I am. In April, we have been focusing on decluttering the laundry room. This has always been a catch-all. And last week, we cleaned out this corner. This corner was just a huge mess of crafts everywhere. And we decluttered it, and we also pulled the new shelf from the garage into here so we could start organizing the crafts. But where are all the craft supplies from last week? Well, I actually have them outside. I had to put them on the back patio because I needed more room for sorting and organizing, and that's exactly what we're going to do. So the first thing I have to do is start defining categories, since a lot of this is kind of mixed up, but I do have some tubs that are already defined as a category. So I'm going to start finding those bins, like this one right here. Clearly, this is all jemmies, or rhinestones, as most people call them. And the bin underneath of that, this has ribbon in it. So we'll pull this one off to the side as well. And the bin underneath of that, well, that has a bunch of jewelry making items in that one. The last pink one has yet more ribbon. As we start to get into the bigger craft hoard in the basement, you're gonna see I have a lot of ribbon. So since these items are already categorized in their bins, I'm laying them out here so I can visually see it. I am a recovering hoarder with ADHD. So making this as visual, as simple as possible is going to help me. Because right here, I have some jemmies over here. So I know that I can focus and put it right into the jemmy bin. And right behind it, hey, here is some more. So I'm going to put that next to it so I'm keeping the categories together. Now, this is the first time I have ever tried organizing my craft hoard because I have so many different categories of crafts, and in my brain it gets a little jumbled up because there's such an overwhelming amount of stuff. But we started with a small section last week, decluttering, downsizing it, and now it's making it a little easier for me to define those categories. I also want to thank my YouTube family for giving me such excellent suggestions, like try to think about a craft store and how they organize it. Kind of mimic their categories similar to that. And that is such an easy visual tool for me. Speaking of visual tools, I am actually going to need more bins. And luckily, I have a bunch of organizers right in our basement. We can shop our hoarded stash. Now for me, this is a no spend organizational video, but these bins I did get from Dollar Tree, and I know that they still have them. As we're sorting and organizing, I can definitely see the categories a lot clearer because I now need a sewing category. Now in this pink bin, I have an easy tossy, and I love that I'm decluttering as I organize too. Now, this bin has nail polish, and I'm going to tell you that it goes into the jewelry making category. And you're probably like, what? Yes, I have made necklace pendants out of glass tiles and nail polish. Basically, you start with the glitter nail polish first on the back of the tile, and then you build up. I used crackle nail polish behind that, and then a solid color. But of course, that's for a DIY craft video. And as I kept sorting, there were other categories that were so obvious, like labels and how many labels I have bought. And also, you're going to see a lot of washi tape. These items need their own categories too. And as you can imagine, I am finding an overabundance in each category because I have lost the item. I had to go rebuy it. So by organizing this, it's going to save me a lot of money. I'm also going to take a moment to organize things that are not considered craft supplies, since they were all in that area, like kids' outdoor activity stuff and party supplies. Now, these categories won't go on the craft shelf, of course. They're going to go on the other side of the laundry room because I have a lot of organizers that are not being utilized on that side. Something else that I want to add is, as we're going through all of the crafts, I want you to know that this is a lifetime of me hoarding craft supplies. These are decades worth of items that I squirreled away or I made in a craft class. A lot of people think that I'm like so deeply in debt from buying so much stuff, but the truth is that I'm debt free, and a lot of stuff has either been given to me for free or, again, made in a classroom. Another thing I'm going to point out as we organize and sort these crafts is my behaviors. Now, I'm ADHD, and if you have that, you know that we have hyperfixations. That is when we become so fully engaged in something that we almost obsess about it. It's all we can think about. And I will research and create, and it really shows up in my crafting because that is a creative outlet for me. Now, sometimes a hyperfixation can last almost a week, or sometimes it can last a month or even up to a half a year. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because as we organize and define these categories, you're going to see an overflow in certain categories. And I want to bring an awareness to myself that when I'm in a hyperfixation, to not go crazy, if you will. Researching is fine. But as far as saving and gathering all the supplies that I would need to make an infinite amount of, let's say, gemmies or jewelry making items or even ribbon, I just need to bring awareness that I have enough of it. I don't need to bring any new items into my hoarded house as we declutter and organize it. Speaking of which, now I am gathering up the bins that are outside that clearly have a category, and I'm going to put it back into this shelf. And I'm going to be rearranging these shelves because they are adjustable. Now, what I'm going to be using next for organizing is Cass from Clutterbug's organizational systems. I am a butterfly, which means I need labels. I need open shelving. I also need clear bins so that I can see what's inside. Now, if it is a solid bin, it's preferred to not have a lid on it and then stick a label on it so that you can see it better. Butterflies need a very simple organizational system. It has to be quick. We have to be able to put it back in 1 to 2 steps. That's why I think butterflies have a lot of ADHD peeps in there. We also love visual abundance, so utilizing the vertical space in our homes is going to set us up to be more successful. That's why using the reference of thinking about a craft store and how they organize it was so perfect for me because I could see the walls and the sections and how everything was open. That helped me immensely in figuring out how to organize these categories. And if you'd like to know which organizational style are you, please visit the link in the description box below. It'll take you to Clutterbug's quiz where you can answer a few questions and figure out what kind of organizational bug are you. And now that we're putting the final touches on this, I am so happy to show you the organized craft shelf. Honestly, I never thought I could do this. Another wonderful surprise was that I used the color scheme in this cover. I didn't even realize it. I had all these tubs. I had hot pinks. I had teals. So I guess that is a color pattern that I really love because I was able to continue it on the shelving to make it visually pleasing. And look at how easy it is for me to pull out something that I need, to be able to do the craft and then very quickly put it back into its bins. Last week, I shared why I was so fearful of decluttering and organizing my craft supplies. There's a lot of it. There's a lot of emotion attached to it. And honestly, I wasn't sure if I was capable of doing it. That's why we tackled the small section in the laundry room so that I can do it in baby steps and then build the confidence that I was capable of doing it. Sometimes when we try new things, we have a little fear of the unknown. I have hoarding disorder and I have had it since childhood. I never had an organized space like this. And with the help of all of you guys, your encouragement, your support, your advice, I was able to do this. And I'm just so grateful for all of you and looking forward to actually tackling the huge craft stash in the basement. And my hope, my prayer is that this video motivated and encouraged you to declutter and clean something in your home today too.